Wow, I'm actually really tickled to introduce tonight's closing keynote speaker. Monica Piper is an Emmy Award-winning comedy writer and stand-up comic, which you guys know is close to my heart. She has written for the sitcoms Roseanne and Mad About You, and she was the head writer for the #1 children's animated show, Rugrats. She starred in her own Showtime network special, No Monica, Just You. And she was nominated by the American Comedy Awards as one of the top 5 female comedians in the country. Her critically acclaimed one-woman play ran sold-out shows in Los Angeles, and it was called Not That Jewish, and it feels like me, I'm not that Jewish. And then it had a 7-month run off Broadway. It was a smash. Yes, this is incredible stuff. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to please welcome, not just to this stage, but to what is our communal and biannual home. Ladies and gentlemen, Monica Piper.
What a time this has been. What is better than being surrounded by people who think funny? You know? Even people who think they think funny. I love everything I love my breasts. I wish I didn't just have 2. Come on, wouldn't it be great to have a bunch of different sizes for all the things you needed to do? Little tiny ones for jogging and giant ones for estimates from mechanics. Yes. I love being a woman. I could list all the advantages, but I'll narrow it down to just one. Men, you know, when you're with us and wondering if you'll get lucky, we already know. Not only am I little, but I'm shrinking. Seriously, it's wonderful aging, isn't it? I'm shrinking as we speak. I've always been 5 feet and 1/4 inch. That's my number. We have that number, don't we? At a certain point in our lives, we lock in that number. Leanne, what's your number? How tall are you? 5'7". You know, that's my number, 5 feet and 1/4 inch. So I go for my checkup. I'm on the scale with the thing on my head, you know. And she goes, okay, 4'11". What? I cannot be 4'11". Well, would it help if we called it 59 inches? No! No, it would not. And I'm scared because I don't know if there's a time limit to this or if it's just going to keep happening until I'm a speck. A little speck with a microphone. So it's official. I'm officially under 5 feet tall. Isn't that freaky? And let me tell you, the world is a very different looking place from down here. Seriously, all week I've been saying hello to people's crotches. Potbellies aren't just annoying, they're actually in my way. Pretty soon they won't let me on a ride at Six Flags unless my son takes me. But the thing is, I don't know how fast it's happening. So that's why I felt I had to tell you so you'll understand if in the middle of my keynote speech, I disappear. I love a good hotel. I take full advantage. I have to tell you, it's like, hello, this is Monica Piper. I'd like 12 more towels. That's right, 12. What? Why? I'm having a natural childbirth followed by a pool party. What are you, the FBI? They have to give you what you want. right? You know how much fun you could have at a 5-star hotel? Hello, room service. This is Monica Piper. I'd like a cheeseburger and a pony. Boom in town. Checked into the Weed Bark Hotel. They gave me a Key magazine with all the events going on in town. I open it up. There's a picture of me checking into the Weed Bark Hotel. So, oh, thank God you're laughing. I'm so relieved because it's one thing to make civilians laugh, you know, but comedy people, that's a different thing because you know who you are. Some of you comedy writers never actually laugh. You know that, right? You analyze. Oh, that's funny. Now that is hysterically funny. So, all right, why are we here? We're here because A, at some point in our lives, we decided we were funny. And B, we bravely are choosing or have chosen to make a career out of it. Honest to God, here's how he'd pick up the check, my father. That was my father. And everybody howling and watching my mother watch my father. And she would laugh every single time, no matter how often she'd heard it before. And when I was writing my play, I came to realize that my father's religion was humor, and my mother's religion was my father. And my father said, "Kid, you're funny." It meant everything to me. Who knew, who knew that 25 years later, I'd be on a comedy club stage spoofing a men's cologne ad. You know, it smells like a man. But they don't tell you which man. It could be Slappy, the bait shop guy. My mother had a different sense of humor, more clever, more dry. She was brilliantly sarcastic. I remember when I was older and I said, "Mom, guess what? I'm an actress now." She said, "Well, that's fabulous. What are you in?" "Well, I don't have a movie or a series or a play or anything, but I'm an actress." She said, "You know, sweetie, that is such a coincidence because I'm a queen." I just don't happen to have a country. My father would always say to me, "Making people laugh is a gift, kid. Helps them take their mind off their troubles." And that's the gift that we have. We have that gift, and we can give that gift to other people. And it's unbelievably powerful because you have no idea how many people come up to me after a show. "Oh, God, I needed that. You know, my sister died last week, and I needed to laugh." I was in 10th grade when I told my first real joke, and people laughed. Mr. Cooper, my math teacher, passed out papers, announced we were having a little pop quizzy. I looked at it and said, "Wow, if these are your quizzies, I'd hate to see your testes." Everybody laughed. Everybody laughed. Except Mr. Cooper, who actually wrote the joke out on a discipline report. Swear to God. Sent it to the principal, who called my parents that night. All right, my father, "She said that? Well, I will certainly have a word with her. Thank you. Kid, you are funny." The thought of making that leap never entered my mind because back then I did exactly what I was supposed to. I went to college. I became a high school English teacher. I got married. And I love teaching. I love those kids. But after a while, after 4 or 5 years, I knew I had funny things to say, and I wanted a place to say them, you know. But it's hard leaving that security. You know that. It's hard leaving a job to follow your passion. It sometimes you need a push. And I got that push because in my play I talk about some issues I had in my marriage that I won't go into here, but I was out to dinner with my husband and some friends, and I was telling a funny story. And right in the middle of that story, my husband Peter got up and went to the bar. I was so embarrassed, you know. And later I said, "How could you do that?" He said, "Well, I heard that one once before. I thought about my mother who laughed at my father every single time. And then, get ready, the final blow. Did it ever occur to you that maybe you're just not that funny?" Not that funny? I divorced him 3 months later. I started writing every day. What's funny? Is this funny? Is this funny? What about my life is funny? And when I thought I had a solid 5 minutes, I auditioned at the Comedy Store. And one of the first jokes I did in that first 5 minutes was about my marriage. And I said, you know, I was married, it didn't work out, and we were young, our values were confused, and I don't really like to dwell on it. But I happen to have the wedding announcement here with me. I think if I share this with you, it will cast some insight as to what went wrong. Mr. and Mrs. Peter Barron Jr. wish to announce the wedding of their son, Peter Barron III, a tall, extremely handsome, brilliant, athletic graduate of Harvard Law School, soon to open a private practice in San Francisco, to a tiny Jewish woman who smokes. Oh, name furnished on request. So, in '91, a single woman adopting raised questions. Is she a lesbian? Is she selfish? Is she a selfish lesbian? And it really worked for me, worked for my life, because I was able to take him with me on the road. I threw him in a suitcase. And I took them with me to comedy clubs all across the country. It was great. I'd hand them to bouncers. They'd introduce me. I'd hand them to the bouncer. Hold this. Do my little show. Come back. It was perfect. We were never apart. I was nurturer and breadwinner. A stay-at-hotel mom. And I had all the time in the world to teach him to be a great guy. All women are goddesses. Yes, they are. The very best women have a little bit of extra fat right here on their thighs. Yes, they do. What's a man's favorite word? Commitment. Yes, it is. Now, I had known Roseanne, or my early days of stand-up, her early days of stand-up. We were friends before she became famous. And then she got famous, she did her show, and I didn't see her after that. So all of a sudden, I get this phone call. Monica, first of all, congratulations on the baby. That is so cool. And second off, we need a strong female voice on the show. We want you to be one of the writers. I'm like, oh my God, is this really happening? It would mean getting off the road, earning sitcom money, and launching my career as a comedy writer on the #1 show in the country. Well, yeah, it was amazing. But you see, now I can tell you from experience that your life as a comedy writer will not always converge with your life as a human. Because what Roseanne didn't say was, oh, you know that cute baby of yours? Well, you're never, ever, ever going to see him again. No one told me I'd be there till 2, 3, 4 in the morning. I had a daytime nanny. I had to get a nighttime nanny. I felt, I wasn't seeing my child. And here I am torn. I'm on this great show. I'm in a writer's room with brilliant writers. And I'm coming up with jokes, and they're getting into the script, and it's exhilarating. It's fabulous. But at the very same time, I am riddled with guilt and longing to be with my child. And I spoke to my agent about it, and, I realized, I learned that there's a number one rule in Hollywood. You don't quit a show, especially a hit show. You can get fired. That's okay. Honest to God, it's fine to get fired, especially on Roseanne, because she fired everyone. So it was like a badge of honor, But you cannot quit in the middle of the season. So I said, all right, I'm going to stick out the season. And then I chose to be with my kid, and I threw him back in a bigger suitcase, and we hit the road again. And I spent a couple of great years. Every time we boarded an airplane, he'd go, oh, kwa me. Oh, kwa me. I go, what is that? Then it hit me. That's what he heard from the person next to him every time I plopped him in his seat. Oh, crap, why me? And we had a couple of great years. But then he got a little older.
Mother, as you know, I'm almost 3 now. And while I've enjoyed the hotel life, I have a dream too, Preschool. Sure, I'll miss the room service and minibar. But it's where I gotta be.
I know, kiddo. I already signed you up. You start in a month. Yippee! But you have to be potty trained.
Oh, crap. Why me?
But I knew I had to leave the road. My agent got me a meeting with Klasky Chupo, a great animation studio. Next thing I knew, I'm a writer on Rugrats. The greatest show. And that was the #1 kids show in America. And it worked because how great is this? I'm living with a 3-year-old, and I'm getting paid well to think like one. And it was my son's favorite show. So instead of having to say, I can't be with him, I have to write a script, my script is due, I could say, come here, Jakey, I need a joke for Chucky. And then we got some incredibly exciting news. We were nominated for an Emmy. I went, oh my God, that's so fabulous. Oh, I'm gonna need a gown. Oh, actually, it's the daytime Emmys. Okay, a sassy cocktail dress. Actually, it's the Creative Arts Daytime Emmys. It's like on a Tuesday. Perfect, I can go in my pajamas. But we won. We won Best Children's Animated Series. We won. And my son was so proud. He made me take it to his Little League game so he could show the team. It was so cute.
Look, my mom won an Emmy.
This was L.A.
My dad won an Oscar.
Now, I have another comedy tip that works for me when I'm feeling blocked. If you're feeling blocked at whatever you're working on, there's nothing funny. Nothing funny is coming to me. Sometimes your mind, you need to flex those comedy muscles, and your mind just wants to do something different to get those juices going. So I have a little section in my notebook called Things You'll Never Hear Me Say. And the reason I love this exercise is because it's based on truth. It's based on the truth of who you are. You know, here's how it works, like me. Things you'll never hear me say. Can someone please hand me that 2-page recipe? Those words will never leave my mouth because I don't like to cook. Here's another one. Things you'll never hear me say. Do those jeans come in a long? So that's just a little exercise you can do to just get your comedy muscles working. You know, it may not solve whatever's stressing you out, but it'll take the edge off. You know, I'm telling you, I don't think there has ever been anything more brilliant than these words. If you can't make it better, you can laugh at it. This is what you got to do. Because life is going to throw you punches, you know? And sometimes really bad things are going to happen. And you have to figure out a way. The only way to survive it is to find the funny. You know, I went through a breakup, a really bad breakup not too long ago. I'm okay. I'm okay. And this was a man I truly believe was the love of my life. Yeah, and it kills me because I still think it really could have worked if only he'd been an entirely different person. I love movies from the 1940s. I really got into them. I love the black and white. I love the way they talk and move their shoulders. You and me forever, Johnny. Ah, Johnny, won't it be swell, Johnny? But it was never swell. There always comes that scene, right, where she throws the suitcase on the bed. I'm leaving you, Johnny. I can't take it anymore. The lying, the boozing, the other women. Oh, I've had it, Johnny. I never want to see you again for the rest of my life. She's out the door. And I remember thinking, how many women you know in 10 seconds can pack for the rest of their life? Right? If it was me, it'd be, I'm leaving you, Johnny. Got any boxes? Know anybody with a van, Johnny? You gotta laugh at life, because life throws you punches. Find the funny. So, and here's one of my final tips. If at all possible, have a dog. Because dogs are funny. I've had only one dog in my life wasn't funny. He came with my husband and left with my husband. He was a not too bright, somewhat aloof Airedale Terrier with no sense of humor. You know, who's a good boy? I have no idea. But dogs are funny. Dogs are funny because I think, and they're happy. I think dogs are happy because they have no idea what they look like. You know, you never see a dog look in a mirror. God, I look so tired. Guess that 22 hours of sleep I got wasn't enough. My dog's hilarious. He's a retriever, but he's from LA. You know, go get the ball. We're not taking the car. That's my dog. Now, you and I, we all know my dog can't really talk because we're sane. But you see these crazy YouTube people and they're talking dogs? They're crazy. Say, I love you, Bubbles. Say, I love you. Hey! I'm sorry, the dog did not say anything. They're crazy. First of all, if you're a dog and you find out you can suddenly talk, is that what you'd say? Wouldn't it be more of a practical nature? I know if it was my dog, it'd be, look, I don't know how long this talking thing's gonna last. I gotta get something out right away. Where are my testicles? I don't think he'd say, I love you. These crazy little tips about use your cartoon voice to get you out of a funk. You know, even argue with your husband in your cartoon voice or your wives, you know.
It was all your fault.
Think of things you'll never hear me say or you say. Find the funny. Just, you know, I can't close with anything smarter or better or more powerful than this. It's just, if you can't make it better, you can laugh at it. So go out and find the funny, and thank you so much. Thank you.